Are you a brand designer looking to learn and to improve your brand identity and packaging design workflow and skills to have a less stressful life and to attract better paying clients? If yes, then perfect. I got your back. Today I'll share with you my easy-to-follow 6 steps process to design from scratch a brand identity and packaging design for this sassy chewing gum brand so that you'll be able to design professional, on-brief, eye-catching, and fully functional deliverables for your clients. Hello guys, my name is Loredana and I'm a freelance digital illustrator and graphic designer with a focus on playful brand identity and packaging design services for ambitious small businesses targeting female customers. Today I'll show you how I structure and create from scratch a brand identity and packaging design for a chewing gum brand, making sure the brand and its product will truly stand out among competitors. So let's dive right into my 6 steps design process and have some fun! But first, let's meet the client and the design brief. Chumble is a playful and sassy sugar-free chewing gum brand with 2 exploding fun flavors, citrus and tropical, that unlike any other gum, keeps up to 3 hours. Tagline, mind your own Chumble. Slogan, 3 hours of unserious flavors. Brand values and objectives, natural with fun flavors, long-lasting, customer-oriented, happy teeth and fresh breath, playful, modern with a touch of retro, feminine, friendly, approachable, casual, bold, energetic, cool. Target customer, 18-35 years old woman, sassy, modern, playful, energetic, active, unconventional, funny, women who take good care of their teeth. Brand focus and design objectives, to create a full brand visual identity and packaging design that help the brand stand out among competitors on the market shelves. Before jumping into the creative phase, and even before putting together the creative direction and mood board for your project, you must do a competitor research to know what to avoid design-wise. You must religiously follow the design brief, and, as you remember, Chumble's design objective is to design a brand identity and packaging that make the brand stand out among competitors. Also, a thorough brand discovery phase with in-depth questionnaire to discover your client needs and objectives help you to create strategic design. Identify your client top brand competitors, aesthetic, and mission. For Chumble, the competitors are Hubba Bubba, Bubblicious, and Big Bubble, but as their brands are way too playful and aimed to children, while Chumble targets sassy millennial Gen Z women, I completely avoid their aesthetic. If you're struggling with putting a mood board together for a visual identity and packaging design project, make sure you include photos related to the business, color palettes, clear font ideas, and clear illustration style. This way, the client will have a clear idea of your creative direction for the project. Hot Pinterest tip, pin your visual inspiration for creative direction on a secret board to keep your project private. Also on this stage, the answers from the brand discovery questionnaires will help you sketch strategic concept designs. After drawing as many rough concept sketches as needed, you choose the most adapted idea for your client's needs and objectives, always having in mind their target customer demographics. Hot design tip. Always draw your sketches in black to focus on the concept and start with simple, rough concept sketches. Get ready for typefaces and fonts hunt. When choosing and pairing typefaces and fonts for your brand and packaging design projects, always have in mind the design brief, brand's personality, and the target customer. Typography can really make or break a brand identity. Each typeface and font have their own personality and style, conveyed through lines, shapes, and corners, so pick those matching the brand's personality while targeting the psychology of its intended customers. You must choose between serifs, sans serifs, slav serifs, scripts. Font pairing is not an easy task, as fonts must complement each other while reflecting the brand's look and feel. When in doubt, return to the design brief and the brand questionnaires. You'll find there all the answers you need. In my opinion, the best typefaces you can choose are those with glyphs, as they are extremely practical. It's always good to have more letter options when creating a brand identity. You'll never know which one better suits the brand personality. There are many places where you can find also free typefaces and fonts for personal and commercial use, and one of these places is Google Fonts, which I picked for this personal project. I strongly advise you to customize all the typefaces and fonts when crafting logo variations. This way, you can tailor each letter to perfectly fit and emphasize the brand's unique identity. For Chumble, I chose 3 typefaces: a super contemporary and cool sans serif for the word mark, a simple sans serif for the body copy, and a playful and bubbly sans serif for the tagline and flavor, script-like, to create a nice contrast while having in mind the product niche. Hot design tip. Before expanding typography in Adobe Illustrator, make sure you save a copy of your editable typebox as backup. Because typography is such a rich topic, I promise you I'll dedicate a future video to it. Creating logo variations takes time and patience, trials and errors, but it's such a fun and creative process, and the result worth every second. For my clients, I create 4 logo variations: a primary logo, a secondary logo, a logo mark, and a sub-mark logo or a letter mark. Every brand designer has his own way of presenting the brand identity to the client. I do one concept method, which means presenting one logo concept and its variations, one packaging design concept and its variations, etc. to the client. After finishing the design and illustration in vector, you present your client only the best concept, and based on the received feedback, you perfect your final design. This way, the client will not be overwhelmed with responsibility. And in plus, you are the brand designer, you are the expert in matter, and you should know what works best for the brand. For example, for Chumble, the final concept was the third one, even though it was just for a personal project. In this stage, I've already added the playful brand color palette, and I'm copying and pasting artboards to create the color variations for all Chumble brand logos.
Show your support by giving a like and pressing subscribe to my channel for more digital illustration and graphic design tips for freelancers and small business owners.
In my case, the entire creative direction is built around the values of Chumble, envisioning a fresh, modern, with a touch of retro, playful and sassy brand for sassy women. Thus, the brand colors I chose are fun, vibrant, youthful, and fresh, being inspired by Chumble's chewing gum flavors. I must admit, I had a bit of work until ending fully satisfied by the final concept for Chumble's logo variations, but I am glad I did. This negative space logo totally emphasized the brand, its product, and its target customers, all in a single mark. It's on brief, and in plus, it's clever. And this is always a point in plus. Personally, this is my second favorite step in the process. Stay tuned to discover which is number 1. For each fun flavor, I've created a different design, illustration, and color palette to differentiate its uniqueness, and I adapted the composition and text content for 2 types of packaging. The brand pattern and illustrations for packaging are inspired by pin-up sassy models, as the style is perfect for the playful and feminine personality of the brand. As you can see, to vectorize the character illustrations created in Procreate, I used the mighty image trace in Adobe Illustrator, choosing the silhouette option. If you don't know, image trace allows you to convert raster images to vector artwork so that you'll be able to integrate your custom hand-drawn sketches and illustrations into the brand identity project. And this is simply fantastic, especially for creating illustrative logos and organic illustrations for packaging, stationery, and print in general. This option is perfect for those creatives who love drawing, both digital and traditional, and are looking for an organic style. Please don't ever use this tool to trace other people's hard work. While designing the packaging, my 2 pin-up characters depicting the brand flavors, tropical and citrus, suffered a couple of changes, better said improvements. All this to make sure the brand and its product will truly stand out among competitors. I prefer drawing the illustrations in Procreate because it's perfect, especially for those textured brushes. And in plus, the Apple Pencil is priceless. After final tweaks and changes in Illustrator, I began the brand color exploration for the packaging until I found the perfect colors for each product flavor. The pin-up characters I've drawn for packaging are also the stars of the brand patterns. When creating brand identity, brand patterns are extremely useful for packaging design, social media and web use, stationery, because they reflect the brand's personality in such an effective visual way. what is a Dieline and why do you need one for a packaging design project? A Dieline is a digital file of your packaging template used to show the proper layout of the finished product. Dielines are helpful for figuring out the best placement of your brand design elements and act as diagrams for a packaging template that printers will use as a reference when developing the hard prototypes of the product packaging. Usually you receive one from the client, but you can also find them online, download and use them for your projects. When designing packaging, ask the client to give you all the text information you need to include on the packaging, the ingredients, nutrition facts, the barcode, etc. As always, pay attention to hierarchy, legibility, and all the other design principles. Design a packaging for a product, thinking especially to its target customer and his experience when interacted with the product and the brand. You should ask yourself, what does the customer see first on the packaging? What does he see second? But third? Where will the product be placed on the market shelves? Hot design tip. When designing typography and packaging design, don't go under 5 points, otherwise it would be hard to read by customers. Mockups are super important. You have no idea how much they help you in the brand identity and packaging presentation that you'll prepare for your client to portray the brand in a realistic manner, sell your concept design, and especially convince him that is the perfect one for the brand. You can find plenty of free mockups online for a multitude of purposes and industries, so take your time. Seriously, take your time and search the best of the best for your project. Don't worry if you're not 100% satisfied with what you find. You can edit their PSD files however your creative direction requires for the project. I like to completely manipulate and transform them in Adobe Photoshop to create an immersive brand experience, look and feel for the client. Your mockup design might shout brand's personality and mission while targeting the ideal customer psychology. They should show to the client how he can correctly use in real life the brand design you created. Hot design tip. If you're not very proficient in Adobe Photoshop yet, learn it. You have no idea how useful and powerful it is when creating, editing, and compositing realistic mockups and photos for your projects. In this last step, you must test the usability of your packaging design and see how it looks like in real life. This is the only way you'll be sure that the chosen typography keeps its legibility, the colors print well, and that your design is on point and ready to rock. Now is the perfect moment to check and fix your design flaws before sending the brand identity and packaging design presentation to your client. And lastly, we've arrived at my favorite step in absolute, prototyping. Print your designs at home and don't worry, you don't need a fancy printer and special paper or cardboard. You just need to test their usability for future customers. For this step, you'll need also scissors or a paper guillotine, paper glue, and a bit of patience to handcraft your packaging variations. Snip, snip, enjoy this relaxing process, and don't forget to take some cool packaging photos for your brand identity presentation and social media.
Are you ready to finally meet the brand new visual identity and packaging design of Chumble? But first, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope my 6 steps design process will help you improve your workflow and life. Show your support by giving a like and pressing subscribe to my channel for more digital illustration and graphic design tips for freelancers and small business owners. Ladies and gentlemen, mind your own Chumble and enjoy your free hours of unserious flavors.